This video I'm about to play for you is exactly what I warned you about in this morning's broadcast and what I've been telling you about for the last couple of weeks. We've got a big move in the administration and the government, the whole of government approach to getting everybody inside of this country who is not willing to pledge allegiance to this nation, sacrifice a little bit for the country, give up their bad ways that they brought in from other countries. They want them out.
In administration, that our system is bogged down. In fact, a majority of the cases that we take as congressional offices, constituent services are immigration related. We have people wanting to come here legally, but they can't even get through the process because, again, so many people have come here the wrong way. And so I would actually say that we need to pause everything until the system can actually catch up. But yes, there's no reason why we need to be taking in people that A, don't want to assimilate, and B, I don't even know that they can contribute much to the current society that we have because they might not actually be skilled in whatever they are trying to come here for. And so I back him.
You're going to hear that word assimilate a lot more in the next couple of weeks. Basically, you don't conform to Western society. You don't belong to Western society or in Western society. And if you wanted your country to be that way, then go to a country where it exists that way. And that, of course, is a very common tribalistic, maybe, but common understanding, because if you go to Walmart and you say, Walmart, why aren't you, I don't know, selling something else? Why aren't you a church? Walmart's going to say, we're not a church. We're Walmart. We're a capitalistic, corrupt, monopolizing corporation. They're not a church. So you can't go inside of Walmart and say you should be a church. Just like that, you can't come into the United States of America and say you should be a XYZ country, or you should be practicing these behaviors that take place in this other country. Now, there is, of course, a fine line here, a very big gray area. That gray area is called freedom. The United States of America was built on freedom and developed into the disguise of freedom, or a veil of freedom. If you pay taxes, if you have to drive a speed limit, you're not necessarily free, right? There's no just reaction to your action. And so instead, we are maybe going to muddle down what freedom is and the understanding of it to get back to the country that the United States of America was founded on. This is video of a 26-year-old Russian being taken out by Polish and other European international task forces. Polish special services. They are said to be engaging in large-scale national and part of multinational operations that expose saboteurs. A lot of other countries are admitting that they have sabotage events happening. Do you remember during COVID when all of the warehouses started burning down, the food production facilities started burning down, the crops were being ruined, the animals were dying, they were forcefully euthanizing lots and lots of farmland. They were making crops ungrowable. That wasn't an accident. That was part of a sabotage event. What you're seeing behind me is part of the chaos that was reigning through the streets of New York City yesterday. It's still ongoing as you watch this video right now. Part of this chaos is maybe what Trump was letting happen because he told Mondami, according to reports, you can try it your way, and if it doesn't work your way, then the feds are coming in. So I heavily suspect that we will see a National Guard movement inside of New York City very soon. I'm even a little concerned that we might see a big violent event inside of New York City very soon. This type of action right here where people are standing, this is called impeding. He is impeding on locomotion, impeding on transportation, impeding on federal and national enforcement of laws. What these people are doing is illegal. You get out into the middle of the streets and you impede the movement of a federal vehicle, you're about to go to jail. You're about to go to prison. And I think that Trump is going to start making examples of people very soon. I do also believe they'll just start mowing these people like a lawnmower. And once that happens, you're going to stop seeing Phil like this guy right here. Phil's no longer going to just stand in the middle of the street blocking law enforcement, because when Phil has a broken ankle or broken legs, or when Phil is no longer able to be funded by organizations to get out here into the streets because it's not worth his life, you're going to see that quiet down real quick. It looks like Trump's meeting with Maduro had the Venezuelan drug enforcement agencies do a little bit of overtime. Trump said, close it down. If you keep bringing it in, you're out. And now they suddenly found 500 kilograms of cocaine hidden in secret compartments, packed into hundreds of black wrapped bricks.
Something occurred that has never happened ever before in American history. What am I talking about? Your United States Department of Justice filed an amicus brief before the United States Supreme Court on behalf of lawful and responsible gun-owning Americans. That's right, an amicus brief in support of the Second Amendment. We're talking about DOJ's amicus brief in the matter of Wolford v. Lopez. It is a case that is coming up for oral arguments in January before the United States Supreme Court. We're going to share with you a little bit about the brief, but
do you know that during the Great Depression, it was easier for someone to buy a home than it is today? And I don't mean somebody like the guy who was inventing Frito-Lay by taking over an accidental and a failing street hustle. No, I mean it was easier for everybody. Even the people who were going through the worst of the Great Depression, it was easier for them to have housing, good food, and to start improving their life than it is for the average American today. And I think that's about to change, and I think they're going to get back to some constitutional rights and some other issues across the Americas.
Tens of thousands of unvetted Afghans in.
Okay, I'm going to read this because there's some music playing. They say tens of thousands of unvetted individuals entered into the USA. Again, they're claiming it was all Biden's fault, but I think this was a multi-year, multi-administration issue. Hundreds at the time were flagged because they had ties to violent extreme organizations. They say direct links existed, but these people were waved into the country nonetheless.
In the next couple of years, I think we'll substantially be cutting, and maybe cutting out completely, but we'll be cutting income tax. Could be almost completely cutting it because the money we're taking in is going to be so large. And yet, other countries who have been ripping us off for many, many years, and many years they've just been ripping us to shreds.
Let me know down in the comments whether you think Trump will actually get rid of income tax. I don't think he will, but I do think the administration will make the burden on the American people less. And let me tell you why. This isn't out of the goodness of the government's heart. The government suddenly said, we cannot tax these people anymore. We cannot take from them as individuals anymore. So instead, they're going to take for profit from other countries, which they should. That's how governments are supposed to operate. They'll take from other countries and tax the American people less. You let me know down in the comments if you think I'm right about that. This is a event of terror that took place at a San Jose mall. Sent shoppers throughout the mall running for their lives. This was at a Westfield mall. Kinetic projectile tools were engaged, erupting in chaos at one of the busiest shopping days of the year.
Is this a fake Black Friday sale? Am I just not understanding how sales work? But here's an example from Amart Furniture, 20 to 60% off, absolutely everything store-wide. And here's a product they've got listed as was $3,499, now $2,799. But if you take that URL and pop it into the Wayback Machine, what we quickly realize is, that same product, used to sell earlier in the year, just back in May, for $1,999, claiming it used to be.
Okay, so they jacked the price up 3 times. Then they tell you it's a Black Friday sale to drop it down a little.
Bellingham, the city where D.C. sniper John Allen Muhammad once lived, is in the news because another resident is accused of going to Washington, D.C. and shooting people. And this time, the circumstances are also complex.
I know we've definitely done a lot.
Whatcom County has opened its arms to Afghan refugees who fled during Operation Allies Welcome. World Relief of Whatcom County says they
are being lived in. 40% of rent-controlled properties are being lived in by people who weren't even born in the country. What kind of system is this? We bring in people from foreign countries, and then we pay to lower the cost of their housing, while people who were born here have to pay higher prices.
Let that sink in real deep. This is not some other country, folks. This is Philadelphia. What you see there is the flag of non-assimilation being burned in the streets while they wave flags of other organizations and countries.
Okay, I just bought this. It was $4.39 pre-tax, right? Pre-tax. And I was warming it up. I went to open it up to flip it around. And this is what I got. And I'm just saying this.
Not only is that meat probably 3D printed like the Campbell's garbage, the mashed potatoes, which is undoubtedly the cheapest part of that, is so little. They give you like a teaspoon of mashed potatoes, some mechanically separated, glued up preservative, maybe poison filled meat, and a little spoonful of corn. And they want to charge you $5 for this. I don't know about inflation, but I do know that it's not better. Guys, you're watching Full Spectrum Survival on YouTube, where we doom scroll so you don't have to, just to keep you ahead of the game. I want you to know what's going on so that you and your family can make better moves. You're watching here every day. Make sure that you're subscribed. If you see a hype button down there below, please click it. From my family to yours, check back tomorrow morning. And until then, please stay safe.